Hello my friends, and we are going to get going now with the best ever kit. I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step instructions on how you can assemble this kit. Everything that you need is inside that box, which makes it super easy. If you need a great Mother's Day card, Father's Day card, or something for the coaches in your life, this one is going to be perfect. It's nice and simple, so let's get started. So inside your kit, you are going to find all of the supplies that you need to make the 6 cards that are featured here. It's really simple to put them together, but let me show you what you've got. So first of all, you've got all your pre-printed card bases. And what I love about this kit is you've got some really fun embossed texture in some of them. You have the die cut pieces that are easy to just punch out. And this is going to be one of your layering pieces. You have the greetings. Now it comes in 3 languages, French, German, and English. So pick your language of choice, and then you can use that on your cards. You have more images and embossed greetings. And then finally you have these gorgeous inside printed envelopes. That's going to make it so pretty to be able to send them. Now you do have all of your adhesive and embellishments in this little packet. So these are called mini glue dots. One of the things I find quite helpful is if you have a toothpick, you can look inside your box. I've added one if you are taking this class with me. You can use that toothpick to pick up these little glue dots, and it's like a sticker. So when you stick it onto your project, you can just use that to flick off the backing, and then that will be how you stick down some of those embellishments. You also have the Stampin' Dimensionals, that's what these are, and they're little hexagons that are double-sided foam stickers. Helps to give you a little bit of texture on your project. And then you also have your adhesive backed sequins and stars, and the best way to do that is to give it a press. That's going to activate the glue dot, and then you can pick that up and add it to your project. So let me show you how to assemble your cards. You do have paper instructions inside your kit. Sometimes this can be helpful to look at the photos, and also it has what I call IKEA style instructions because it doesn't have any writing. It just shows you where to put your adhesive pieces and how to assemble that card. So you're welcome to use your paper instructions along with this video. Now this is what you're going to need for your first 2 cards. You have your trophies, which you're going to pop out from the cardstock. And I find it's easiest if you sort of keep your fingers close together as you pop it out. You just don't want to accidentally tear a piece. So you'll see I'm keeping my thumbs close to the edges of the cardstock. So we have our 2 trophies, and then we need World's Best Dad and World's Best Mom. And we're gonna grab a orange little rectangle here and a pink one. We're also going to grab the flowers and the stars. Now the layouts on this card are exactly the same, so we're going to work through both of them at the same time. It's just a faster way to craft. And so I'm going to take my card base and fold it on that score line. And we're going to do that on both cards. I call this assembly line stamping when you're doing that same step on both cards. Okay, the next step is we're going to lay out the pieces for each card. You'll see in the trophy there are little bits that you pull out for the handles. So we're going to give one for that one, and over here we'll do the same. And then we also need to give the things that are going to go in the cup. We're going to do Mom and Dad, and then those little bits. Okay, so you're going to use your dimensionals for this to be able to add your trophy cup. So this is going to be our first step. So we're going to do that on both cards. Peel off those backings, and now it makes that a sticker. And And we can set this on top of the card. So you're just centering it in the page. Same thing for the flowers. You can throw the backings for the dimensionals inside your box. That's just going to help you keep them all in one place, and then you can toss them at the end of your class. And then we're going to do World's Best Mom. So again, with the dimensionals, I love adding that ability to pop something up. So just go ahead and toss that on like so. And then you are going to need your piece here. Oh, I realized there's one more greeting that goes with this. It's gonna layer on top of this. So we'll find that here in a moment. This and this. So this is gonna set right here. Kind of looks like our trophy is sitting on it. And then you need, from the one we got the banners, you are going to grab Happy Mother's Day. And so this can go on top. So this one we're going to use our mini glue dots. And so you'll want to find your little toothpick. And here we're going to grab the glue dot and you're going to stick it on top of here. And then you're going to pull the backing off. So you just kind of take your, see the glue dot is left. And again, you can just toss those little round sticker backings into your box. So now this is going to go on top like that. And then we are going to add some little sequins here. So we can throw one on here and then a couple on the bottom. Little guy. Try that again. There we go. Okay, and one over here. Beautiful. So that's your first one. This is your Mother's Day card. So let's do the Father's Day card now. So exact same steps. Again, if you wanted, you could assembly line this with all of the dimensionals going onto both cups, and then all of the dimensionals going onto both inserts, etc. This one's so nice and quick that you can truly do it either way. Okay, these stars are fun, so we're going to add dimensionals on the back of that. Oh, I grabbed a glob of them. We don't need quite that many. Those are going to go here. And then we need our World's Best Dad. And we're going to add the little rectangle here. And then we need the Happy Father's Day. And that one's going to be done with the mini glue dots. Okay, so this will go on top. And now we're going to add our little embellishments. So I'm going to use the stars because we've got that star theme going on in the cup. So once again, you're just pressing to make sure that glue dot gets activated and then picking up your stars, and you're going to add it in a similar pattern to the way you did the Mother's Day one. Beautiful. Okay, so let me show you those two cards together. And very simple way to throw together a Mother's Day and a Father's Day card. All right, we're gonna get started on our next set of projects. Let's get those ones going. Our next set of projects are going to be this number 1 card. And so you're going to need the 2 card bases that have the pennants. We're going to bring in these foam fingers. So again, because we've got different languages, you can choose which one. I'm gonna go with the number 1 for both the pink and the blue one. And we're also going to need some of these stars. I think we're using all of them. Maybe not this one. So yellow for the other card. And then we are going to bring in the greetings. So we've got greatest of all time. And this one here. All right, so let's get started on the project. I also needed to grab these rectangles, so we'll throw those on too. Okay, let's get going here. So we need, we've got our pink pennants here, and we've got our blue pennant here. And once again, we're gonna sort everything out into the piles. We've got this one, and this one with our yellow starbursts. And then we've got all the rest of it going over here. Okay, so this is going to start with your little starbursts here. So we're gonna do the large one in the corner, and then it's going to be laid out like that. We're gonna use our mini glue dots for those, so just flip it over, and you're gonna add a couple of pieces, and then remove those backings. And then this one will go in the corner. We'll add this one here. We probably only need 1 for that one. These are nice and sticky, thankfully. And this one will go over here. And we'll do 2 on that one. Lovely. Okay, we're gonna bring in our foam finger, and we need to add our dimensionals on the back, so we're gonna give that lift, like so. These dimensional backings, you can truly find them everywhere if you're not careful with where you throw them. Okay, so this is gonna go here, number 1, and we've got our all-time, greatest of all time. So we can add mini glue dots to the back of this. And then stick that onto the layering piece. And then dimensionals are gonna add that to the card front. And so this is going to go in the bottom corner here. Now we have our little sequins to add. So we're gonna throw a couple on. There. So there we have our 3rd project. We're gonna do the 4th one as well. So all those same steps we're gonna follow again. So bringing in our yellow starbursts. I like this color scheme. Okay, we're gonna do a couple on the back of this one. Remove those backings. Wonderful. Now we can add our foam finger. This is such a great time of year to make these kinds of cards. If you have any kids in sports or you yourself play sports, I find, you know, before summer holidays happens, we kind of have that wrap-up period for team sports. So it's nice to be able to show your appreciation and gratitude to those coaches, those teachers, right? So we're gonna throw that on there like that. We have here this white piece, and this is gonna layer on top. I might have done it the opposite way, but there's really no amount of layering that's too much, if you ask me. So we're going to pop this up, and then we can pop it up again. You have extras of the foam dimensionals. Okay, so now this is going to go here, and we're going to add on those stars. This is just a little bit crooked, so I am going to move it a bit. You've got a bit of flexibility, but not a ton of flexibility. Clearly, I don't have a ton there. I'm just going to throw that on like that, and then this will just line up a little better. Okay, so we've got our stars. So we're going to pick up those and add it onto our card like that. Okay, so there we have our fourth card. Our next set and final set of projects, we have the following things. So you've got these little inserts here that you can pull out. Oh, that one says Mum in the English way. There we go, Dad. And then we need the ribbon bits. So that's what these pieces are here. And over here, we'll grab these out. Now, you might not need 2 Mother's Day cards or 2 Father's Day cards. So they actually have these ones in here too. So you could do Hooray, You Did It, and You're the Best. So you have the option of how you want to lay those out. Okay, so let's get started on how to build this. We're going to start with the white card, and we are going to bring in these 2 layering pieces. So we've got these little ribbon pieces, and we want to build this up. So we're going to do those pieces like that. And this piece here, well, we can actually build that up too. Let's do it. So much fun. Okay, so we're going to do a couple pieces there and some on the ribbon legs. So we'll fold our card and peel off all those backings. And now we're going to layer that in the middle. Because we're building this out, you want to just make sure that you're maybe a little closer to the bottom of the card. So same thing then, we're going to put in this middle piece. Like so. And then this is going to go on top, and I'm going to use my mini glue dots for that. Probably 3 should be sufficient. Okay, and then that can go on top. We're gonna add this piece in, and we wanna build that one up. So that's gonna go on like that. And now you're going to decide what you want your greeting to be. So I'm going to do Hooray You Did It. And we're going to do that with our mini glue dots. Oh, come on, this little guy doesn't want to come off. There we go. Okay, so Hooray You Did It. And now we can add our cute little sequins. We're gonna add 3. There. So there you've got your first card. The second card is this one. So you can play with the layering if you wanted to make it all flat. It's a little bit easier for mailing if you do that, but it's up to you. So this time I'm not going to use the dimensionals. I'm going to do the mini glue dots just to get a different look. Okay, and then peel these backings off. Amazing. We'll stick that on again. You're gonna put the tails of it a little closer to the bottom of the card so that we have room for that ribbon piece on the top. So this time we're gonna build up that piece. Get the backings off. And then layer that on top. And now we can put our ribbon on. So, mini glue dots. Peel off the backings. There's a lot of backing peeling with these little guys, isn't there? It's shocking though how much that little toothpick can make a difference for you. Okay, and we're gonna pop this up. Great. And then we're gonna use You're the Best. So you could do You're the Number One Dad, or you can do You're the Best. It's up to you. Okay, peel off those backings. The reason I like to use this is because you'll notice I just bent the paper to do that, and you can sometimes leave wrinkles, and so that's not as nice looking. So you can see this one's a little more flat and probably a little bit easier to mail that way. Okay, so we've got some stars here. We're gonna add those on and just finish off the little embellishments here. Beautiful. Okay, so there is our last 2 sets of cards. I hope you've enjoyed crafting these cards with me today. This is such a great kit. It's really fun to be able to make your 6 cards just with less than 30 minutes to spare. And if you have any questions at all, you can reach out either in the comments, or you can find me at www.cloud9stampers.com, and you'll find many tutorials and other ideas for you that will inspire your paper crafting. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.